what we have with.
Good afternoon, Namibia and the world, and welcome to our Thursday edition here at the Government Information Center. I am your host for this afternoon, and my name is Desire Kahiha. We are looking at the Annual Productivity Awareness Week. This is an activity that is spearheaded by the Ministry of Labor, Industrial Relations, and Employment Creation. And in the studio, I have three panelists here from the ministry that will help us understand what is it all about and where does it span from. We have Mr. David Igonda. He is the Deputy Director for Labor Market Information with the Ministry of Labor, Industrial Relations and Employment Creation. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
I also have Ms. Anthea Ritz, and she's a development planner with the same ministry. Good afternoon. And thirdly, I have Ms. Kertu Kakonda, and she is also a development planner. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon.
I think we kick it off very simply. What is productivity and why is it important in the work environment? And here I would like to ask Ms. Kakonda, maybe you can enlighten us.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. Productivity is a broad concept. Technically, it's defined. Technically, outputs over inputs to receive or produce a product.
Yeah.
So, simplest way to define productivity is it's a attitude of a mindset. So it's doing things better today than you did yesterday.
Okay.
So basically, it's an improvement. So it's a continuous improvement that an individual or institution or country at large that have to do to produce or be productive.
Okay. And
One, two.
The importance.
person walking in the street somewhere, and they're now wondering, okay, so why is that important in the workplace?
Okay, in the workplace, it's important because once an institution at large increase their productivity, at the end of the day, their inputs or not inputs but outputs increase, and then we will have more profit. That comes down to the employees that we are going to now get more benefits.
Yeah.
For example, let's say bonuses at the end of the year, or let's say your medical credit increased, stuff like that. That's just simple examples that contributes to increased productivity.
Okay. So basically, from my understanding, if I understand correctly, productivity has a direct impact on what comes out at the end of the day.
Definitely.
It has a ripple effect on the type of work or service that is brought forth. If I don't put my 100% in, I don't deliver for my clients that come and, they need the services from me. And I believe this is regardless of what office you work in, whether it's private sector, whether it's public sector, whether it's a job on the street as a vendor. Productivity, I think, is one of those key important elements that one should have.
Definitely.
At this point, we have a few comments and overview of this whole concept, and we would like you to join us in viewing it a little bit.
Hi, I'm Dandago, the productivity guy. I'm from the Ministry of Labor, Industrial Relations and Employment Creation. Namibians, let's be productive regardless of what we do, and at all times adhere to COVID-19 regulations. Technically, productivity is the relationship between the quantity of output and the quantity of inputs used to produce that product or service. Socially, productivity can also be defined as an attitude of the mind. It seeks to continuously improve what already exists. It is on the conviction that one can do things better today than yesterday, and even better tomorrow than today, for better quality of life. Productivity equals efficiency and effectiveness. Doing things right, doing the right things. Doing the right things right the first time and all the time. As a secretary, I practice the 5 Ks and approach in my office every day. Everything is in its place for a quick retrieval. That is called best practice in productivity. As a security guard, my job is to guard the safety of all persons and properties. In order to effectively do my job and to also ensure safety for all, I at all times wear my mask, have the sanitizer ready, and advocate for social distancing if you visit public spaces. Namibians, COVID-19 is real.
A healthy nation is a productive nation.
As a grade 12 high school student, it's that time of the year again. Exam time. In order to perform excellently this year, I have a time management plan in place. I work strictly according to a timetable. Time is precious. Use it wisely. Time management is an excellent productivity tool. As an entrepreneur, I love arts and crafts. Remember, you using your hands to make a living is an excellent way of being productive and creating employment by utilizing any resources accessible to you. Namibia needs our innovation and creativity to prosper. This too is a good way of being productive. Productivity is a marathon without a finishing line. Let's keep moving.
There we have it. It's a simple video, it's an animation, yet we try and find different ways in order to tickle the senses, to get messages across. And I believe this is one that, can touch any person at any age, in any sphere of life. And one thing that one can take away, even myself sitting here, I do take away the fact that they state that efficiency plus effectiveness, that is, a result that turns into productivity. Nicely put. Thank you very much for the effort. And I believe it's flighting on various platforms. I do hope. Yes.
Ministry of Labor Facebook page. You go on our Twitter page, you will find this animation there. So as you saw, our mascot is advocating for us to be productive in all spheres of our society, being young, being small. It starts at your individual level. Starts productivity, practice it at home. You will bring it to the workplace. So in very simple words, productivity is everybody's business. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ritz. It's everybody's business. And I do hope that whoever does find this particular video or animation, that you further it, you populate, we populate it. As they said in the video, it is that time of the year where a lot of people are experiencing I call it the annual dip, where people are getting to that time of the year where they are just getting, they're tired is tired. I think it's the popular statement these days. But, you know, sometimes a person just needs to hear these little words or just see these visuals and just get rejuvenated to have that little bit of more energy for the very last
Stretch,
push,
yes.
for the last stretch of the year. So please do populate it wherever you do see it. But Mr. Igonda, I would like to now find out from you. We're talking about effectiveness, we're talking about efficiency, it's everybody's business, and so on. But from your experience working with the center and or the unit, and generally, I think also just as an employee, as a supervisor, as, you know, an uncle, a brother, in all spheres of life that you have experienced, what are some of the factors that affect productivity?
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you for the question. There are many factors that are affecting productivity. Even to start with time management, where you find staff members coming to the office late. They are not able to manage their time very well, or they are given some activity to undertake or to do, but they are also not able to finish within a limited time or given time. And all this affect the organization to be able to complete its activities and also deliver to its mandate. And the other part also that is affecting productivity is the just if I can give you a simple making meetings, conducting meetings. When you have too long meetings and they are not you are not reaching to the consensus, and you see those are also affecting productivity. And other one important aspect also which is affecting productivity is the bureaucracy, whereby the work has to be passed many stages in order to be completed. So we now need to find a way so that we streamline some of this work, and you look at what are the best way that for you to be able to streamline these activities, or whether you can merge the activity or you can eliminate itself, because there are other activities that are not adding value to the whole process.
Exactly.
So and we tend to focus more on those activities, and it's really affecting the performance of the organization in terms of service delivery.
Okay. So we're actually saying, because I believe a few years ago, government started what they call business process re-engineering.
Yes.
So from what I'm hearing, I believe that you feel that those are some of the things that need to happen in order to improve productivity, or, you know, align themselves with the whole concept of productivity. But I stay with you now, Mr. Igonda, and I'm listening to you, and I'm thinking to myself, earlier this week, the world commemorated World Mental Health Day. And I'm just thinking to myself, working with the unit, have you identified mental well-being to have, you know, an effect on productivity as well, or is it something that you see very little of?
Yes, no, we haven't identified that yet, but what we are trying to promote, as we have clearly indicated, that business process re-engineering is one of the concept, or is one of the productivity tools in order to reduce unnecessary activities, and that's now lead or affect the mental health.
Okay.
If there's a lot of workload, and as I have indicated, that some of this work, they are not adding value adding value to the process. It will lead to now the staff member will be distressed, and that will affect the mental health. But we haven't yet looking into that. But what we are now trying to look is that we want now to raise awareness so that staff members at workplace will be able to manage their work. They'll be able to as you have seen from the video, we introduce what we call 5S.
Yeah.
These are the housekeeping tool so that people will be able to manage their work in the most and do their work in the most effective and efficient manner.
Yeah, yeah. Well, well put. Yes, Ms. Ritz.
To what Mr. Igonda have just alluded to, there's one important factor that we always tend to not give attention to, and that is the morale of workers at the workplace. It tends to always add or devalue productivity at the workplace.
Yeah.
It's very important that we are saying that a healthy and a happy employee is a productive employee. Last year, we've been celebrating under the theme that goes, a healthy nation is a productive nation.
Yes, yes.
And we believe that once everybody's happy at the workplace, then productivity thrives. And this can only happen if all the others are also in place.
Yeah.
Once there is time management, value addition to the services, once we have our streamlined, perfectly set out activities which does not have any wastage in between, which at the end of the day takes us to our resources being utilized to the best we can, then we are actually going there. So we've got Occupational Health and Safety Department within the Ministry of Labor. Last year, under the theme, A Healthy Nation is a Productive Nation, we had our psychological counselors, which also helped us to talk about mental health and productivity at the workplace. So we do give also attention to this type of initiatives, and we do know that our employees, at the end of the day, it does not matter in which industry you find yourself, your contribution is valuable. But your health and your happiness at the workplace is also so important for us then at the end of the day to get out that productivity we are looking for.
Okay. No,
So
that's
thank
good.
you.
It's good to hear all of that taking place. But before we continue, I'm sure you're wondering, I keep referring to a center or a unit that is under this ministry. But we would like to now find out from Ms. Ritz, the National Productivity Center hosts an annual productivity awareness campaign. When was this initiative started and what was the purpose thereof, inclusive of the history of the unit or center in itself?
Okay. Thank you very much for the question. I would like to, first of all, start off by saying that the movement of productivity came into being from a SADC declaration that was passed in 1999 in Maputo, Mozambique. This declaration has have asked all SADC states to establish a productivity unit or a center within their establishments so that productivity is one of the most key things that they should look in each African country.
Yeah.
From this declaration, this is how talks have started, and the Ministry of Labor has then started hosting the unit that is called the Productivity Subunit. This unit came into being in 2010. Currently, within the unit, we've got in the establishment 5 staff members. We've got a chief development planner, and then 4 development planners within this unit. So it started off from this declaration. The movement we have launched in 2014, we have launched the official movement of productivity here in Namibia. From that inception up till now, let me take you down on the number of activities that have taken place from there. Since the inception of the unit, what we have done is we have came up with a program. We've piloted a program that is called a workplace productivity project. This program started in 2018-19. This program, we have piloted 2 organizations, namely Home Affairs, Ministry of Home Affairs, and Namibia, Air Namibia, our airline. So what we are trying to do with the aim of this program was, we wanted to improve workplace productivity. How? What type of things are we supposed to put into place at the workplace to make sure that people are thriving within in productivity? But as Mr. Igonda has alluded to earlier, there are processes in each and every workplace that needs to be looked at. So what we have done is we have focused specifically at Ministry of at Air Namibia Home Affairs. We have focused specifically on immigration, but at the arrivals, departure and arrivals. What we have done there is we've identified any bottleneck processes in the process to see that where is it that there is any problems that needs to be improved. Where is it where we get our international guests that are coming in from other countries, but there's always that stumpy or always that problem of clearing them. So we've identified these areas, and then we have came up, streamlined how we can come up with improvements, what we can cut, how much time we are saving when we are cutting this, how much time we are saving when we are cutting this in terms of money. So what we are trying to do there is we've trained these employees there. We have come up with mapping the process, making the process shorter, adding value in this process. So these things happened during that year. The same year, we have also worked with Air Namibia, and we have also looked at the arrivals. What are the processes from issuing a ticket up till when the customer gets the service, up till you are on board and you leave, then at your destination, what happens? So we have come up with this program. Second intervention that we have came up with in 2019 was we have identified one company which is called in the manufacturing industry, Tinapama Manufacturing and Supplies. We've piloted this program with them that was called the Kaizen program. So what we have done with Tinapama is we've entered the company, we've engaged the employees, we have given them a 2-day training about how to improve their services within the setup, and we have introduced what we call the 5S initiative. Then we have further on from scratch developed our own our own promotional material, which was our flyers, our pamphlets, our posters. Even this video that you have just aired now is something that we have developed ourselves from scratch. We've been running a program that we have also piloted with schools that was called Green Productivity within schools. We've piloted it in 6 regions, whereby we also had an award ceremony. We wanted to see how small kids do understand the concept of productivity by making use of the recycle reuse concept. So it was very interesting. We've got very good feedback, and we could see that they have learned a lot. They could also associate with the mascot that we have just seen on the video. Further on, we have then introduced for the first time in 2018 the famous today annual productivity week. So our first annual productivity week was celebrated under the theme, productivity is everybody's business. We wanted to make sure that all Namibians are part and parcel of this initiative, and nobody should be left behind, and we all should understand what does productivity have in for me as an individual, for an organization, and then for the country as large. Then finally, we have also done what we have called a countrywide productivity awareness raising campaign. We have went to all 14 regions of our country to make sure that each and every OMAS do understand that what is productivity all about, the benefits of productivity. So I will leave it at that end for now.
Okay. It sounds like a mouthful, but I think it's one that was necessary because Ms. Ritz has given us an overview, a healthy overview of what has been happening. You know, sometimes when these concepts are developed and implemented, people don't really understand the work that goes into it, when it started, how far back it goes. So it's good to be able to have this type of feedback that gives also the next person an idea. Sometimes you see a project, for example, you're talking about, you call it green productivity with the school children. And a person might be seeing this activity taking place, but they don't even know what it's connected to or where it's coming from. And sometimes they even misplace where it is, being generated from. But with that, we would actually like to hear from you. I always say that this is a platform for conversation, for education. Please do drop us your comments on our social media platforms. If you also have a question that you want to ask to, our panelists, you are very much welcome to do so. On Facebook, you can find us at Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Republic of Namibia. That's Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Republic of Namibia. We are also live streaming from our YouTube platform, and our handle there is MICT Namibia. MICT Namibia. You can call us in the studio as well. Our line here is 061, that's the area code for the central, and the number is 400-397. 400-397. While we wait for you to join us here in the studio, I'd like to then hear from Ms. Kakonda. How does the center involve other OMAs in its activities? And here I'm looking at examples such as, you know, ministries, if not all OMAs, have a wellness and social committee. And I'm not sure which year this directive came through from cabinet, but it was an established decision from that level. But I now want to find out, do you tap into these existing bodies to further the center's or the movement's goals of encouraging productivity in the workplace?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. As Ms. Reed alluded earlier, that the first movement that we did with the annual productivity week, this is where we said it's everybody's business. So we we wrote to all the OMAs to also partake in the activity. What happened was we had a march from the zoo park to the ministry.
Okay.
So we wanted the public and all the ministries who could do it to join the march and just share the information as well on their platforms or wherever it was supposed to be possible. And also we had an opportunity to actually have a stand to the government park where there was where the offices of OMAs are more or less, a lot of them are there. So during that period when the movement of in and out, that's an opportunity to share information to them as well. And
Okay. But what has the response been from the various OMAs? From your experience over the years since the launch took place in 2014?
Okay, the partake is not, the response is quite good.
Okay.
So when the activity happens though, it's a bit not that much, but yeah, we encourage more, but it's quite not that bad as well.
Okay. As she said earlier on, it's everybody's business. So I think it's one that every institution should consider contacting this ministry. We do have a caller on the line right now. We've got Anytime from Tsume calling us. Good afternoon, sir. How are you?
I'm doing good, and how are you, Madam Desire?
We are well. How would you like to add to the conversation today?
Anyway, I just want to greet the panel there and the viewers out there, even the listeners on the radio. The productivity, that is a very, very important concept in the workplaces and wherever production should take place. And that's why we see some of the industries and even in the different ministerial offices, there's a lack of productivity because of certain factors, like we asked previously the question to one of the panel there. And I wanted to add some of the factors that affect the productivity. One of the panel there, my senior father, they indicated that the time management and the late coming. In addition to that one, I'd like to say absenteeism of the employees. That's one of the factors that can affect the productivity. If employees are being absent quite often in the workplace, then it affects the productivity in any industry. All right, moral or work ethics also is one of them. If the employees are not respecting one another at the workplace, like it was indicated that the happiness is needed at the workplace, it can also affect the productivity. Incompetence, yes, you might find that there are some employees who are incompetent. In contrast to competence. So that one can also affect the productivity. The most crucial one, what can you make employees also, in one way or the other, salaries. If the employees are not happy, how do you expect such employees to be productive if they are not happy? The other one is the management. If the management is not always seeking ways to increase the worker productivity, there is no way productivity can take place or to improve.
Yeah.
So management is a key player in productivity. Line of bureaucracy indicated it. The line of production there, you might find that it's like a chain. If the other person has the first ladder there, the first step of the ladder is not doing anything. The second one and the third one will block that productivity. So you should be careful of that one. Those are the contributions that I wanted to give.
Okay. No, thank you very much. Anytime. I think you, pardon me, you did actually add a few here that we didn't mention earlier on. So thank you very much for that. As I say, we educate each other.
Bye.
Have a good one. Yes, Ms. Kakonda, you'd like to add something there?
Yes, I just wanted to add on where he alluded on the process. That's where now we talk about the BPR, where we say we have to look at the process. We eliminate where we see, okay, this is not adding value to the process, and we short stream the process, so the productivity, and that's where now we talk about the time as well.
Okay.
And we thank him for the contribution as well.
Yes. Ms. Ritz, I would like to actually now have us come back to the activity at hand, which will be taking place next week, I believe. It's when we kick off. Yes. What is the plan for this year? When, where, how will this year's awareness campaign take place? What is the theme, and why that specific theme?
Thank you so much. This is the moment I've been waiting for. I hope you all Namibians are as excited as I am for this one. So this year's theme, we are celebrating the Productivity Week under is Let's Make Productivity Contagious. Let's make it contagious. Let it be intentional in our thinking, in our doing, our speaking, and in our actions. So I want to please emphasize again, our theme this year for 2021-22 is Let's Make Productivity Contagious. The Productivity Week will kick off on the 17th of October. It will run up till Friday, the 21st of October. So we've got very interesting activities lined up for this week. So please do go on our social media and you will see everything that is happening. But allow me to share with you what we are planning for the upcoming week. This year, like I said, our theme is Let's Make Productivity Contagious. We are targeting the general public. Nobody's left out. This is our business and it's everybody's business. I want everybody to be part of it. This year's theme is intentionally deliberating on how productivity should be contagious at the workplace. If you come into a space at your workplace that coming week and you see that the spirit or the energy is low, let's pick each other up. Let's try to do any activity that is productive within the workplace. If you come 8 o'clock in the office, at least for that week, dedicate to be productive from 8 till 5. In everything that you do, when you see your colleague is down, you came to give him something to sign off, tell him, colleague, please, change your face, change your attitude. It's just 5 minutes of your time. Read through this document and then give me your input and I will be a happy employee. And so we make sure that it's contagious. After I have said that to him, he will pass it on to the next person and so the line will go. So our activities that we are lining up for this week is, first of all, we'll have our launch. It will be officially opened by our Honorable Minister, Minister Utoni. So that will happen on the 17th of October at the ministry, at our Labour Commissioner boardroom. And then on the 18th, the Tuesday, we will be visiting the hood makers. Those are the guys that are there at the truck port, the guys that are doing arts and craft work. What we are trying to also sell here is the message of innovation and creativity. So we're going to visit them, we're going to have a session with them, and we're going to have pictures with them. On Wednesday, the 19th of October, We will then visit our model company, the one that I've spoke of previously, Dinapama Manufacturing and Supplies. It will be a surprise visit. Maybe they are listening, but it's planned to be a surprise visit. We want to see how productive they are and how contagious their productivity is going to be on us. We'll also have some sessions of photos, interactions with them that day.
Yo, now they're going to be top
Now
notch.
now they're going to clean up.
Yeah.
Yes. And then on the 20th, the Thursday, we'll be having a gazebo day, an open day. This will happen in front of the old Labour Commissioner building as we know it, next to Gomastal City Police offices. So we will be there. We will be streaming live as well. We will be having engagements with the public at large, and all our employees will be there. So if you have any question, any clarity that you want, or you just want to come and dance and celebrate with us, please make a turn there. Then on our last day, before I come to that surprising part, I want to first say that this year we have decided to celebrate once more with the private and the public sector.
Okay.
We have given a little assignment to our partners out there, our stakeholders, the private sector as well as our OMAs. The challenge is that come up with any activity within your offices that you feel it's productive. Take a picture of that activity, whether it's going to be a short video or a still picture, upload onto our social media, and then hashtag Ministry of Labour, hashtag Productivity Week, hashtag Let's Make Productivity Contagious. So we want to see, what are you doing? What are you up to? What are those new initiatives? What are you doing in your workspace with your employees? How happy are you guys at your workplaces? What new ways of working do you want to share with the general public? So it's a challenge. The challenge is on. We have already received indications from a lot of our stakeholders that yes, we are on board. So we are looking forward to you guys. Please join us by celebrating this week. And then the last surprising one, the most nicest one that everybody will be looking forward to, we'll be having a Productivity Contagious Dance video that will be uploaded on Friday. That is from the Ministry of Labour.
Okay.
So this is a contagious dance. We want to show you what do we mean if something is contagious.
Yeah.
Is it when we touch? Is it when we think?
Yeah.
When we hug? We don't know. It's a surprise. Please stay glued onto our social media handles and you will find all that information there. So thank you very
Wow.
much.
Wow, I'm loving the creativity around this though. It's a lot of unexpected little things, but at every, at every activity I'm thinking, okay. Hey, but you keep building on and you keep building on and I'm like, okay, we are really going to be busy next week.
Yes.
And I like the fact that you're reeling in, you're pulling in people, from various backgrounds. You're not allowing anybody to be left out, different
Yes.
OMAs and the private sector. Ooh, I want to see that happening. As we're saying, you're always welcome to join the conversation. Please do so. Our social media platforms are very much open for you to be able to do so. We are live streaming from these platforms. Our Facebook handle is Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Republic of Namibia. Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, Republic of Namibia. We're also on our YouTube platform live there, and our handle is MICT Namibia. MICT Namibia. We continue here, and I would like to then find out from Mr. Igonda. The center is recognized to function at national level. What are some of the activities that you have undertaken at that national level thus far since its launching? And I mean, we're talking about involving regional and local authority, governing levels.
Yes, what we did is at the national level, and it's still a process. As Cabinet has indicated that the unit should be established within the Ministry of Labour, and so that it grow gradually to a full-fledged center. And what we did, and it's still a process, is that we have developed a productivity policy, and this is the document that we would want to guide the full operation of the center. And it's in the draft format, and we are still consulting the stakeholders so that we make sure that all issues related or affecting productivity should be part of the documentation, so that we all move in the same direction. And we are doing it. What we did is we have identified those key stakeholders from the key ministries, and these are the people that will oversee the implementation of the programs related to productivity in the country.
Yeah.
So that's what we did at that level.
Okay. And I mean, I think with something like this is where the decentralization machinery can actually come into play here. Because, I mean, as much as we are saying that it is a movement that is established under the Ministry of Labor, it is one that affects and should be implemented in every single office everywhere you go. Yes. And I mean, what is the best way if we've got, as I said, these existing, channels and existing bodies? It's best we try and utilize them to the best of our abilities to actually meet the end goals of this movement.
And we are, and as my colleagues has indicated, that productivity is everybody's business. Yeah. So it's not only for the Ministry of Labor alone. And what we are trying to do so that we bring everybody on board is that the setup is the tripartite part of where we involve not only government institutions, but we also involve employers and unions, so that they inculcate productivity mind within their jurisdictions. So it's very broad in such in such a way that it includes everybody.
Okay, that's well said. Ms. Ritz, besides the celebrative weeks, do you as a movement or unit involve the private sector in your activities? If yes, how?
Yes, we do. Whenever we are planning any activity, we make sure that we consult. That's why we have taken up our model company, Tinapama Supplies.
Yeah.
These are companies that are not known about. Many people hear about them. Some don't even make use of their services. We want to show Namibian nation that how a small company of that magnitude we can change and bring in high productivity gains. So that's why we modeled that company. We brought in the 5S Kaizen approach there. So it's a company we want to show off with. So that is one of the ways we are working also with the private sector, making sure they are on board. Each year we are trying to have a new theme for the productivity week, so that we can make sure that we've got the youth covered, we've got the enterprises covered, we've got, for example, nurses covered. When COVID hit us so hard, we were actually celebrating our nurses and our frontline workers for dedicating their lives and tirelessly working to make sure that Namibians are safe. So that is how we are trying to also get them in. Like Mr. Igonda has alluded, we have come up with a policy which is in a draft format right now, but the private sector is part and parcel of the formulation and the finalization of this policy. So together with them, this is how we're going to roll out the whole movement into the country. It's not our product or our service alone, it's for the whole of Namibia. We all need to be productive. Whether you are unemployed at home, you're doing your own thing, you are having your own little shop or a printing shop or whatever, let's see how productive you are. There are innovations out there. That's how we are bringing in the school kids. Our plans for future is that we bring in the concept of productivity at school level, so that it can be also being incorporated into the curriculum of education. So we are really partnering with them. We are working with companies like Rent the Drum when we were doing the green productivity. So the private sector is part and parcel of our movement.
This is great. This is great. Definitely one of those initiatives that you are wishing will grow in strength and power. But to give us a summary of our whole session for this afternoon, we'd like you to have and enjoy once again with us this animation that gives us an insight on productivity.
Hi, I'm Dandago, the productivity guy. I'm from the Ministry of Labor, Industrial Relations and Employment Creation. Namibians, let's be productive regardless of what we do, and at all times adhere to COVID-19 regulations. Technically, productivity is the relationship between the quantity of output and the quantity of inputs used to produce that product or service. Socially, productivity can also be defined as an attitude of the mind. It seeks to continuously improve what already exists. It is on the conviction that one can do things better today than yesterday, and even better tomorrow than today, for better quality of life. Productivity equals efficiency and effectiveness. Doing things right, doing the right things. Doing the right things right the first time and all the time. As a secretary, I practice the 5 Kaizen approach in my office every day. Everything is in its place for a quick retrieval. That is called best practice in productivity. As a security guard, my job is to guard the safety of all persons and properties. In order to effectively do my job and to also ensure safety for all, I at all times wear my mask, have the sanitizer ready, and advocate for social distancing if you visit public spaces. Namibians, COVID-19 is real.
A healthy nation is a productive nation.
As a grade 12 high school student, it's that time of the year again. Exam time. In order to perform excellently this year, I have a time management plan in place. I work strictly according to a timetable. Time is precious. Use it wisely. Time management is an excellent productivity tool. As an entrepreneur, I love arts and crafts. Remember, you using your hands to make a living is an excellent way of being productive and creating employment by utilizing any resources accessible to you. Namibia needs our innovation and creativity to prosper. This too is a good way of being productive. Productivity is a marathon without a finishing line. Let's keep moving.
As I said, colorful things to me always kind of drive the message home, and I like the fact that, as I said earlier, also that it's an animation, yes, but anybody is actually forced to stop and actually watch because it's done in such a simplistic yet, excitement provoking manner, if I can call it that. Like, I can't help but smile when I see this little eagle thing. But yes, I love the fact that you guys chose actually a national symbol as your mascot. Nicely done. Thank you very much. Yes, Ms. Ritz?
Let me introduce you to that mascot. Whenever you hear about Dandako, that is the mascot of Productivity Unit. His name is Dandako. Yes, it's a Damara name, which simply means I've won.
Aha.
So whatever you want to do, whatever you want to achieve, do it with having the end result in mind that I need to win. I need to succeed.
So basically, when you start off a task, think of Dandago.
Yes.
Because Dandago is already exciting enough to kicker you up. And also the name in itself, the meaning thereof, allows you that little extra motivation that you need. I've won.
I've won.
I'm starting, yes, but I've won. So it gives you that extra hipple to it as you go through your day. At this point, I'd like to then find out from you, do you have any closing remarks for our nation? And maybe also, Ms. Ritz, you can just give us a quick repetition of the dates and, just quick highlights of the various activities.
For the closing remarks, I will give to the Deputy Director. Let me quickly just give you a rundown recap on what I've said. This year's Productivity Week, we are celebrating under the theme, Let's Make Productivity Contagious. The week is running from the 17th to the 21st of October, and there's very much exciting activities lined up. Please do watch out for our social media pages, our Facebook page, Ministry of Labour, Industrialization and Employment Creation in Full, or our Instagram page with the handle Ministry of Labour, NAM. So you will find all our information there. please, it's exciting. Go and see the challenge, how everybody's challenging each other with what they are doing at their workplaces. So use the hashtag Ministry of Labor, hashtag Productivity Week, hashtag Let's Make Productivity Contagious.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yes, Mr. Uganda?
Yes. As we have heard from the definition of productivity, it's actually a state of mind which is seeking for continuous improvement. So when you look at the mascot, say, I have won. So you can only win if you change the mindset into a productive mindset. And it's through innovation and creativity. The world is evolving. We talk about the fourth industrial revolutions.
Yeah.
So we need to prepare for that. So we need now to change our mindset so that we will be on par with as the development comes along. So I encourage everybody, the Namibian out there, to be productive, be innovative, add value to whatever processes or whatever product they are producing, so that they will grow. The company will grow, the economy will grow, and again, even the problem that we are having with unemployment rate. So as company grows, it will be able to create more jobs, and we live in harmony, and also our standard of living will be also improved, and even poverty will be reduced at a certain level. I encourage them to be productive.
Thank you. Thank you for giving us that chain. It's as I said earlier on, it's a domino effect. One thing has an effect on the next thing, ripple effect. So productivity is something that we should really consider. Look into yourself, if I can put it that way. But Ms. Kakonda, with your closing remarks, I'd like to find out from you also, if the public needs to reach you, besides the platforms that Ms. Ritz now mentioned to us, where else can they reach us? Even the various OMAs, if they now also, want to get into partnership with you on various activities, where can they get hold of you?
Okay, thank you for that. I will say we are located in Commersdal, so that's where the ministry is. So if you want more information, we have also pamphlets about productivity, and they can also call us on this number, 061 20 6624 6 or 206 66 344. Yes, so mainly coming to the ministry, that would be great as well, because then you ask what's burning, and then we are there for you to answer their questions and all that. As Dantago said, so productivity is a marathon without a finishing line, so you better start now. Then please, let's spread the contagious.
As they said, let's spread the contagiousness of productivity. And I think I'm now tasked to go and start thinking about ways in which that, I can increase my productivity for the week of the campaign. Yo, that's a challenging one though. I don't know. Too many things that have to be done, and I don't know. I think I'll need to adapt. Is it the 5?
The 5 S.
The 5 S's, I will definitely need those, because otherwise I'll definitely switch into madness. So 5 S's are there to help you to improve your productivity. Please do go on to the various social media platforms for the Ministry of Labor, Industrial Relations and Employment Creation. They have an exciting lineup for their campaign week next week. That is the annual Productivity Awareness Campaign. It's starting from the 17th all the way to the 21st, and it's ending with a dance challenge. So we're looking forward. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. It might actually become the new Jerusalem. You never know. But from myself, Desire, I would like to thank the panelists for availing their time to be with us in studio this afternoon. And also, we would like to challenge you as the audience that this is something that we should all partake in. Maybe you would be the one to have a counter dance challenge to what the ministry is coming up with. So don't think just because you do not belong to an employment organization that you cannot partake in this. Please do come on board and show us a few moves, or show us a few activities, or even just encouragement in general. From myself, Desire Kahiha, along with my production crew. Have a good one. Bye-bye.